You know what, we'll just start from, I didn't do enough to not start over.
Alright,
Okay.
we're running.
Okay. Alright, thank you for checking the video on how to set up and properly run an Evolution inkjet printer. First set is to properly install tape in your tape dispenser. Start by placing the tape in the rear, put in the tape over the black roll in the back, over the silver roll in the center, and between the two tape plates, centering it to the tape center of the machine. This is very important on the inkjet because if you do not center the tape, your message will wander. Now you have the tape properly loaded, it's time to install the inkjet. Plug in the proper cabling. First cable from the rear of the machine to the outside outlet. It's from the handheld unit to the inside outlet. Then you install the cartridge. So standard 45 cartridge will have tape around the outside of it. Remove the tape and set the cartridge into the printer and lock it in place with the lever. Now it's ready to print. To set up the initial print, you'll want to use the keypad. The way the keypad works is that we have our function keys on the top row, our menu keys on the next row, and our action keys on the third row. I'll explain those in a little more detail as we move forward. To make it easy, what we're going to do is from the stopped menu, we're going to begin by hitting the third button over, the green file key button. That is the message entry button. Once you press that button, the screen will now say message entry. Use the alpha and numeric keys to enter the message that you desire. We're going to print our standard label, our standard machine label. So I'm going to enter E1 dash space and then the correct serial number of this tape dispenser. Once I've done that, I press the return key and then I put the Evolution into print mode. Return key brings me back to the stop menu, and when I press the print key, I get to the print menu. This will now say printing and my message in the field. My message is E1 My message is for an E1 with my serial number and my Phoenix logo. E116492 is the message I entered with a Phoenix logo. Every time I hit this, I will get my message of E116492 and my logo. To stop it from printing, I simply hit the print key and go back to the stop menu. If I want to repeat this,
Too fast for me.
okay. If I want to repeat this message, I take it to the stop menu, I press the F1 key, and go to message repeat. Nope, I'm wrong, it's the F2. Okay, if I want to repeat the message, I simply go to the stop key by pressing the print button, take it out of print mode, put it into stop mode, and then I press F2, and the menu pops up. And one of the choices in that menu, choice number 4, is to auto repeat. I give the message how many times I want it to repeat, and I simply place it back into print mode. Once I put it back in print mode, the message will repeat. To remove it from print mode, I must reset that field to 0. Again, out of print mode, back to the stop menu, press the F2 key, reset the field to 0 using the arrow keys. The greater the field, the greater the distance between repeats. The smaller the field, the less the distance between repeats. And when the field is set to 0, the repeat is off. The next thing we want to talk about is the encoder setting. The encoder division tells us how big the print appears on the tape. We have this machine currently set with an encoder setting of 0. That is the smallest print we can get on this line. So from the stop menu, what we want to do is press the third key on the third row. It looks like a series of A's increasing. That is also a numerical field that increases and decreases with the left-right arrows. 0 is the smallest encoder, 7 is the largest encoder, and I'll show you examples of each. This is a 7. It's so large it barely made it on the tape. That's an encoder of 7. Next I will show an encoder
Put it back up.
of 0. I can make another one. This is an encoder of 7. And now an encoder of 0. So you can see the difference. The next setting we're going to talk about is the print delay. That is the first key on the third row. We'll review this at the end. From the stop mode, I can change the print delay field. It is a numerical field, advanced and declined by the left and right arrows. First, we'll show you a very small print delay, where there's very little tape at the beginning of the message, and then we'll increase it. So the small print delay we will work is a numerical field of 5, and that's about the lowest the print delay should ever be. So from 5 up to 260 is the field. So this first one is print delay of about 5, and I'll show you each on a 36-inch piece of tape. So you can see it starts at the very beginning of the tape, not leaving much of a leader at all. And we'll take that field up, and we'll increase that same field, that print delay, up to 225 field, and it should move it significantly down the tape. Same length of tape, and as you can see, the print has moved nearly the length of the tape. There is no set rule for the print delay. However, about every 10 numerically is worth about 1 inch. So if you want to move a print delay 6 inches from the leading edge of the tape, you'd want to set the print delay field to about 60. It will take some trial and error based on your message size. The next thing after our print delay is talking specifically about setting up the clock and the calendar. These are both done from the stop menu. From the stop menu, this is the calendar key and this is the clock key to the right hand side of the third row. First, the clock. It is a military time clock, a 24-hour clock. You set it to your time. You simply press from the stop menu, you press that key. The menu will pop up with the current time. You have two choices. You can either set the time and the date rules, or set the time. You set the time based on your current time and enter it. It will ask you if you want to make a change. When you're ready to keep what you have to say no. That keeps what you currently have loaded. Press the clock, set the clock, and when asked for changes, say no. The calendar key is exactly the same way. From the stop menu, calendar key, enter today's date or the date you need printed on the tape that you want to auto increment every 24 hours. And then when you've made that change and it asks you if you want to save it, you say yes. And if you need to make any additional changes, you say no. And then once you do that, you're ready to enter your date and time into your message. I'm going to add the date and time to my current message in a numerical format. The way we do that, is we come up. Okay.
Good.
The way we do that is from the stop menu. We press the message entry key. It will say message entry. We type the alphanumeric message that we want, and then we hit the clock key and the calendar key in the order that we want them. So if we wanted this message to say Evolution 1, a space, today's date, and a space, and today's and the current time, we would simply type in Evolution 1, hit the space key, hit the calendar key, making sure it's in the format that we want, hit the space key, hit the time key, also making sure that's in the format we want. We can talk about the format change later, but for now let's assume that the format that's in the printer is the one that you want. At that point, you press the enter key, it'll say stopped again, and then you hit the print key, and you're now printing Evolution 1, current date, current time. since I didn't change my print delay back, I lost most of the message. And that message will look like this. Today is the 8th of September. It is about 2:43, and I'm still printing my standard Phoenix message. That will auto increment. So tonight at midnight it will go to the 9th, and in a minute it will auto increment the time up. Alright, the last thing I want to show you is how to properly set up your date and time. The formats are found in the F3 key. What you're going to do is get to your stop menu. If you're in print mode, you hit this top key, return to start, you're going to go to F3. There are 3 choices under the F3 menu. The first 2 should say not available. The third and fourth are the date format and the time format. They're pretty self-explanatory, but I'll walk you through the first one, the date format. You enter number 3, and it asks you if you want numbers or letters. If you want numbers, you press 1. If you want letters, you press 2. For this example, I'll say that we want letters. You then enter month. It gives you a 3-digit month. You space it, you hit day by hitting a D. You space it, and you hit the Y for the year. And that gives you the month, day, year format. Then when you print your message, it will come up in the month, day, year format that you selected. Still September 8th of 09. The time has incremented a minute, but as you can see, we've now changed it from a 9/8/09 to September 8/09. The time can be similarly done. You can eliminate the hours or the minutes, or the colon and go to spaces, and that will be done in the same F3 menu, again from the stop menu, by hitting the time format button and setting it up there. Okay, that's that.